8:22 on this Thursday morning. Delighted to be joined by Christian Falk, who is, of course, head of football with Bild. Christian, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning to the island.
So, for the first time in the history of the Champions League, four managers from the same country have reached the quarterfinals. We've got Edin Terzic, we've got Jurgen Klopp, we've got Thomas Tuchel, we've got Hansi Flick. They are all Germans. The Germans are taking over the Champions League, Christian.
We hope so, but we are looking for a manager for our national team. So our coaches are at the moment successful, but you can't have enough.
We will come to the national team very shortly, Christian, but let's start with Thomas Tuchel. How impressed have you been with the job he's done so far at Chelsea?
I'm really impressed, but I'm not surprised. As you see now, if you look to Paris, they're not doing so well in the league now. When he left, he's really a very, very good coach, you say manager, and that he is doing his job there very well is because he has a new structure. I always thought England is perfect for him. You know, also in Germany or in France, you have a sporting director. This was always the most trouble for him because he has clear ideas. And when somebody is talking with him about, hey, you have to change this in the team and this, he don't like it. In the Premier League, he's not a coach, he's a manager, so as you say. So he can do a lot more things as he can do at the other situations before. So I've been sure that it would be working, and now you see it's working very well.
He needs control, basically. He needs to be the main man. He can't defer to somebody else. And I guess that can work one of two ways. When they're winning, it's this amazing energy, I can imagine, within a club. And that seems to be what's happening at the moment. The questions that a lot of people have is, could he have been the sort of the whisperer almost for the German players at the club who were struggling under Frank Lampard, the likes of Timo Werner and Kai Havertz? But I think it goes a good bit beyond that, Christian. I think any of the young players, even any of the older players at the club, just seem totally reinvigorated under his tutelage so far.
Yes, that's true. I was talking with Tony Rüdiger about this topic, and he said, hey, everybody's talking about the Germans, but see what he does with the other players. Everybody's better now, and he does really well. Mason Mount and Thiago Silva is performing, Rüdiger performing too, sure. But he's making every player better now at the moment, and it's nice to see how he does it. And I think it's not a question about young and old or German or English. He's putting the players there where they are best, and this is what he can do. He has the eye to see when he has an idea. So I think there are 2 or 3 players missing for his plan. But I think what he has done before with the team he had, you see he has a clear plan.
Christian, that idea that he helps the players along, is that something that's followed Thomas Tuchel along throughout his entire career? I recall one game where Callum Hudson-Odoi was taken on in a game by Tuchel and then replaced half an hour later against Southampton. And Tuchel kind of apologised in the post-match interview, said he didn't treat the player right, and then started Hudson-Odoi in the very next game. So clearly his man management and player management is a strong focus. Is that something that's always been the case with Thomas Tuchel throughout his career?
Yeah, he's very, very straight. And so to come back on the sporting directors, he's also always straight to everybody. And not everybody likes to hear that. And the players have to, because he's the boss. So that makes it easier. And another example, we hear, I don't know if you heard it in England, but it was a big topic in Germany when Werner was playing on the wrong side of the pitch. And he's screaming over and say, hey, what are you doing there? He doesn't care if anybody listens, because if something went wrong, he's saying it directly. And I think that's a very important point on a manager. If you're always direct and honest, then it works. It's not good if you say, I will let you play in the next match and the player is sitting outside. This is often the problem. But he's saying, hey, this was wrong, you're out. And next time you be in again, and next time he is in, so no problem for everybody.
It does seem that they have an ability to counterattack on a level maybe just a little bit below, but close to Liverpool of a couple of seasons ago. Like, the pace in their attackers is incredible. We saw them sting Atletico Madrid twice last night. And this is the sort of style of football that might just get them all the way in the Champions League. I don't think many people would have predicted this under Frank Lampard, for example, that Chelsea would have had a prayer in this competition.
Yes, I think it's a mixture. He let the players play. I think it's a little bit Liverpool and it's a little bit Manchester City, and this is a very good combination, I think. And he's a good friend of Pep Guardiola. When they were both coaches in Germany, they met sometimes. I remember a story, they were meeting in a restaurant, and the waitress was wondering because they don't eat. They were just sitting there and made some things with the salt and the pepper and say, hey, the salt is this player and this player, and you have to play like that. So you've seen it's a very high level and very, very focused on football. And he has an idea which is a little bit between the idea of Klopp and the idea of Pep. So that could be very successful also in Champions League,
So Pep was a bit of a mentor to him in Germany.
I think a friend. They're not the same. They're a little bit the same of craziness because they can be two persons in one when they're on the pitch, crazy, and beside the pitch, quiet and gentlemanlike. So, but they're on one level about the thinking about football, and so they're still in contact. And I think if Pep Guardiola says, "Oh, this is a coach who has the same mind like me," it's always a good signal.
I think using salt shakers to have a conversation about football is the most Pep Guardiola and the most Thomas Tuchel thing I've ever heard in my entire life. That is very much fitting with the stereotype. Christian, we wanted to chat to you a little bit about Bayern Munich, and I know we want to chat about some of the content in your paper this week about Robert Lewandowski. Klopp has come out and said that Robert Lewandowski is the best player he's ever managed. He looks like a player with almost a point to prove again this season, because if there was a Ballon d'Or last year, he obviously would have got it. Now he feels that because there is going to be a Ballon d'Or this year, he needs to ensure that he gets his hands on that trophy. So this guy is going out and he's going to try and dominate for the rest of the season.
Yes, he's now on the level he always wanted to be. That he often thought about making a transfer to Real Madrid because he thought, why I don't winning the Ballon d'Or? Ronaldo, Messi, they're in bigger clubs perhaps. I have to change. The focus is more there than not in Bundesliga. But it was very important for him to win already the FIFA Player of the Year award. So I think, of course, he will do the next one because he's the player at the moment. And when was Jürgen chatting? He was chatting indeed with Lothar Matthäus, not with me. I was just sitting beside because Lothar Matthäus will be 60 on Sunday. And he was head of our magazine for 1 week. And it was very interesting because Jürgen said for Lothar, I would do everything. And you see, if a player or coaches, as you like, are talking to each other, they're perhaps answering a little bit more about what they think if there's a journalist. So it was very interesting what he was saying about Robert Lewandowski. And he said already when Lewandowski went from Dortmund to Munich, he was complete. And now he's better than before. So this is also, I think, he educated and he's working always on every skill, Robert. And he's now over 30 and he's still working on him. So let's see, this is a kind of way you just hear from Ronaldo.
Yeah, I was literally just about to make that comparison, that Ronaldo is the only other player you can compare him to, that level of work rate and that level of unbelievable improvement even beyond the age of 30.
Yes, and it's so interesting about Robert. I know his wife, Anna, she's very good on food things. I don't know. She has a food line, Health with Anna, Health by Anna. And when you were talking about with her, what Robert is eating, it's totally crazy. So eating fresh meat in the morning, not cooked. He's starting with the dessert and then eating the menu from the other side. So he's really looking at everything he does in his whole life. When she's not there, she's cooking a completely freezer full of food, which he can make himself, that he always has really what he needs. She's making energy balls, very special ones, before the match for him. So he's also, I can tell you how he's sleeping is also crazy. So he's doing really everything to be fit. And he made a test, indeed, a body test. And the result was that his body is, I think, 3 or 4 years younger than he should be. So you see, he's totally fit. So I hope he's getting more better than he is already.
Wow. So Robert Lewandowski is 28 years old, is what you're telling us this morning.
Yes, that's true.
Just to clarify something there, the breakfast, Do you mean raw meat, like uncooked meat?
Yeah, like tartar. He's eating tartar in the morning, raw meat.
Right.
Just he's putting it then through the machine every morning, some beef, and he likes it. I won't do that in the morning, but I like it in the evening. But I'm not playing football on this level.
Christian, just on Lewandowski, and he was asked really interestingly in that interview with Lothar Matthäus about his heroes and his striking idols growing up, and I know Thierry Henry was mentioned as well. But interestingly, there was a real Italian flavour, if you excuse the food pun, to his heroes as well growing up. That there was a couple of top Italian strikers that he really, really looked up to.
Jürgen, you mean?
No, sorry, Robert Lewandowski in his piece with Lothar Matthäus. He talked about Del Piero and Baggio as two of his heroes growing up. Yes,
yeah, that's was his youth, and I think this is so interesting because he's always now he's the best at the moment. If you believe the FIFA, don't believe the FIFA in this case, yes, but he's still looking at now on Ronaldo and Messi and said no, they're bigger than me, so I have to do more things to sit on their table. So this is so interesting. He's a quiet guy. He doesn't think he's the superstar, but he has very, very high targets, and he's always working on that. And other players you ask like him, who did you like when you were young? Oh, no, I don't compare me with anybody. I'm myself. But he's really open-minded and has very, very big respect on other strikers and on football. And indeed, he's I think he was wearing when he was, I saw a photo, he was wearing when he was a young boy already dress of German national team from 1990, so not from Italy. So perhaps it was from Lothar Matthäus, I'm not sure. But so you see, he has football in his heart, and that's nice to see.
As you mentioned there, Matthäus was also speaking to Jurgen Klopp. He gave a little bit more detail in your magazine on his idea of when he's going to become Germany boss, or if he's going to become Germany boss. He says that I didn't want to become national coach. It's not that, but it's that I cannot become Germany national boss at the moment. What is the situation with this role at the moment, Christian? Who is looking likely to take it? And is Jurgen Klopp one day going to become Germany manager in your view?
Yeah, I'm so sure. There are not so many things I'm so sure in football, but one day Jurgen Klopp will be our manager from the German national team. And you said it already. He told Lothar, it's not like I don't want to, I can't. And I think this is another big part of Jurgen Klopp. Another one would say, hey, we have a crisis here. Perhaps they take another coach. No, he said, it's my team, and I don't let the team now alone. I brought them in trouble. I take them out from trouble. And another thing he said was that he made a promise to his wife. So even if he would be fired, we don't hope that, he had to make a sabbatical because he promised to his wife. So it won't work in this time now. It's not the moment for Jurgen Klopp. He would like to, but it doesn't work. But we don't know which will be the next manager in Germany. And I think it will be Hansi Flick. He is also contracted Bayern Munich, but Bayern Munich says no at the moment. So if that also won't work, perhaps you need a coach or a manager, you say, who may do it perhaps till 2022, the Qatar World Cup, and perhaps after that, perhaps Jurgen Klopp has time. So and Lothar Matthäus is one of the solutions we expect. So he has said to me, of course, I will do it also for 2 years. Perhaps it's earlier Jurgen Klopp as we think.
Just on that sabbatical point, Christian, that you make there, that Jurgen Klopp is talking about, is your sense then that he's very keen to take that maybe next year? Like if he sees his contract out until the summer of 2022, which is when his current deal expires, is your gut feeling that sabbatical will come at that point? And he'll see out maybe 1.5 more seasons at Liverpool, or do you think he'll renew and extend his deal at Liverpool?
I think if he would win everything again this season, perhaps then he would have quit. But Jurgen Klopp is not a manager who say it's not the perfect end for me and now I go. So if he won't be fired, I think it's for sure that he will be the coach next year as well. But I don't believe, and I believe that since month, I think in the moment he signed the new contract, he already knew that he won't fulfill it. He made it because then there's not any rumors around. It's quiet to work, but it's a long, long time. And I think he will do his sabbatical before this 2024. And so we have to see. But at the moment, he won't go with this result. So I think he will take the sabbatical, but not at the moment. So next year, I think there's still manager of Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp.
Christian, you mentioned Hansi Flick there as a potential next German manager, but given the exit at the group stage in the World Cup in Russia in 2018, where does this position of German manager sit with the public at the moment? Is there a lot of pressure on who comes in as the next manager, or is it the case that maybe there's a slight bit of pressure off, considering the exit at the World Cup the last time out maybe makes the expectations a little bit lower, or are expectations always high in the German job?
Yeah, if you're the manager of Germany, so it doesn't count if you play against the Fiji Islands or anybody else. You always have to win. And Hansi Flick, he won everything with Bayern Munich, so he showed it. He was the assistant of Jogi Löw when the World Championship in Brazil when they won. So he doesn't care who's the next team he's playing or if it's difficult or not. Which is important for him. He knows the team. Many, many players of the German national teams are from Bayern Munich. So it was very, very, very easy for him to switch. And he knows the structures of our German FA. So it would be perfect. But it's not so easy to change if your club says no. And they have to talk. They did it not at the moment. I know that Rummenigge, the CEO of Bayern Munich, is the man who is the closest one to him. He says, no, we don't want to lose him. But Rummenigge is leaving the club at the end of the year, and this also Hansi Flick knows. So is that what will be after? I don't know if the new boss is quite the same, if we have the same relationship. I don't know if I can work as I like then in the next season, because when you look about the past of Hansi Flick, he worked as sporting director for the German national team. He worked as sporting director of Hoffenheim, Bundesliga club. And always when he saw that, no, they don't like the way I do, he quit. And he doesn't look if there is a difficult tournament or if he is losing money or if he has a new job. He says, no, I have my philosophy and I will do it like that, or I don't do it.
Christian, people who follow you on Twitter will know that you have the inside track on a lot of transfers. I dare say this summer, Erling Haaland is going to feature in a few of your tweets. Have you got any insight into what direction those tweets are going to be going this summer?
I think this will be a lot of not truths. I know that the Premier League and the top clubs are looking on him. I heard about the rumors about changing, making a swap deal, Haaland, Werner. So not true. I say it again. The only chance for the Premier League clubs is that Dortmund, they're not doing so well at the moment. If they miss the qualification of the Champions League, I think then they are in trouble. Not just because of money, because they have still money, but it's very difficult to keep a player like Haaland if he doesn't show him and his skills in Champions League. I think there's a really big chance that Sancho will leave. I had a talk, so I think this would be okay for Dortmund this summer. Last summer it was important to keep him, but now perhaps the way is free for a transfer. But for Haaland, they will fight, and his release clause is not for this year; it's for next year. So it's getting difficult to get him. But you know, if they don't play Champions League next year, I have to change in a true.
Okay, so you think that if Dortmund qualify for the Champions League, he's staying put?
Yeah, I think then he will stay. Then there are not so many opportunities because the bosses of Dortmund don't want to sell him at the moment, and sure. They need him. So I don't think it will happen this summer.
And just that kind of has done the rounds in the last two has been Jesse Marsh, and I know he's doing an extraordinary job at both Salzburg and Austria at the moment. Has that experience with Leipzig before that. Do you think there's any truth to these rumours linking Jesse Marsh to Celtic, or do you think maybe a return to a job in the Bundesliga might be more to his liking?
Yeah, very difficult questions. There are many rumors about Jesse Marsh at the moment. I was talking with him a few weeks ago. I have the feeling that he wants to do the next step in Bundesliga. He's looking forward to be a coach there. But he was linked also with Gladbach. I don't think it will happen. Leipzig, yes, there is a coach at the moment, it could happen if Flick will be manager of the German national team. Julian Nagelsmann could be a target of Bayern Munich. So there would be a position for Jesse Marsh. But if there is not a position for him in Bundesliga, it could happen. Glasgow is a big club. It's interesting for him. It's his language. But if he has the opportunity, nothing against the Scottish league, but if you have been manager in the Austrian league, it's not such a big league. There are 1-2 big clubs, and the other ones are really small. I think it's a little bit in Scotland like that. So I think he wanna be a coach now in one of the big leagues. But if there's no position for him in the Bundesliga or any other interesting club, why not? I heard the Premier League is for him also very interesting, but he would like to do the next step in Bundesliga. But sometimes you can't choose. But I'm sure that he want to leave Salzburg this summer, and then we have to see the offers.
Christian, you've been very good with your time. Just one very final quick point. You mentioned Sancho there. There's a good chance he's going to leave Dortmund this summer. Are Manchester United still the front runners to secure the signing of Jadon Sancho?
That depends on Manchester United. I'm not sure if they still want to pay so much money at the moment. It was getting quiet. The last things I heard that they want to try to make a deal in winter. It didn't happen yet. Perhaps they looked at the first part of his season. He was not so good at the moment. There were a little bit problems, I would tell, with his weight. And but now he's playing good. So why not?
Right. Christian Falk, head of football at Bild. Thank you so much.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Thanks a million. Christian Falk there on the line, giving us the inside track on what might happen this summer. You get the sense it's going to be a busy enough summer once again in the transfer window.